It's a great time to be a racing and sports fan, ladies and gentlemen. The racing action across the Tasman and here in New Zealand is hotting up, and the sporting action is really starting to hot up. Neil, a very good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of the Heads Up podcast. As someone very famous once said, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, too right, with racing and sports and everything. And it's a good feeling at the moment, eh? Sort of be COVID-free when everyone else is sort of stressing about that nonsense. So it's a good time to be alive. Plenty of sports going on, plenty of good racing going on. And gee, wasn't it great last week, eh? Melody Bell. We sort of liked it, didn't we? But couldn't put her on top.
No, I think we got egg on our face, so I did. I think I said she might be past her best. So no, we copped that. Need to get the spatula to remove the egg off said face, but great fighting effort at the 100. You would have thought Avantage had her measure, but she just seems to know where that line is and got her head down on the line. And that's 11 Group 1 wins now, puts her third on the all-time table, I think, or maybe even second equal, is it?
Yeah.
Sunline, yeah, second equal. Sunline 13 and her and Rough Habit 11 in the modern day era, I guess we're talking.
You mentioned Rough Habit too. I'm reading a book at the moment about Rough Habit and the ownership and how it went through the grades and went to Australia. But no, Melody Bell, it's a fast run race too. We mentioned it before the show about fast run races are normally won by the best horse, and she was definitely the best horse coming off a reasonable break from Australia. And I was watching To Illicit. She got a nice run, came through nicely and finished off nicely. So from a Livermore point of view, I know you were keen on her for the Livermore earlier on. Are you still keen on her for that race?
Got one little question mark, I have to say, Neil, having looked at the horses remaining in the field. Where will the speed come from? I think To Illicit would like it if there was a bit of tempo in the race, but I can't really see a natural leader there, so it could be a cat and mouse affair. But no, I'll stick with her. Obviously, draws will play a part, but I think she's still on the way up, and you wouldn't be totally upset with that run on the second day leading into the third day's effort. So I'll stick with To Illicit for now, but I reserve the right to change my mind come next Friday.
Yeah, no, actually, you've got to stick with her because I reckon the best run she ran last campaign was when she got beaten in the Derby. It was a great staying performance. So you know she's going to see it at 2,000 metres. If she draws well, gets on the pace, she can make it a staying test. Lee Thinnes will know what to do. He knows it really well. So yeah. Anyway, I've got a good race coming up tomorrow, haven't we, with the Taranaki Breeders' Stakes?
And yeah, just before we touch on that, we should probably acknowledge the feat of Probabile.
Of course, yeah.
The Epsom Handicap, the first Kiwi to win that, I think, since about 1985. Horse called Magnitude won it for the late Margaret Bull. But yeah, just a good training performance again, and placing the horses right to get into that race on the right weight. Kieran McAvoy overcame the wide draw, a bit more positive, and she was pretty dominant, really, in the finish, Neil.
She was, yeah, and I said they're going to the Cox Plate. That's the right choice for her, I reckon. Wait for age race. She's going to hopefully get a good run, and she's just made for that race, I reckon. So hopefully for the Lindsay, she can get the job done. Good, tough mare, and I know we backed her last year, didn't we, in the Oaks over there? She just had enough that campaign, so ignore that as a sort of a guide for her. You know how tough she is. Right. You'll be out there on Saturday?
Yeah, heading up to Hara. Looking forward to it, actually. It's normally a good day. The locals come out in force. Plenty of scenery on course, it'd be fair to say, Neil. They have a interesting function there. The young people come along, seem to enjoy the amber liquid just quietly, and all sorts of shenanigans seems to go on off the course. But we'll focus our attention to matters on the track and the feature, as you mentioned just before, the Taranaki Breeders, race 9 on the card, sponsored by Grange William this year. Kiwi Eye to the Southern Mare is the $3.20 favourite, but right in the market are also Yearn and Cinerama. Personally, Neil, I think the winner and the Quinella and maybe even the trifecta will come out of those three. Definitely the Quinella I'm picking, but which one of those three have you got on top?
Yeah, good question. I went through it. I liked Cinerama with the blinkers going on. I liked Supreme Heights that'll go forward. I liked you, and that was a good run. She's been set for this race, but you just keep coming back to Kiwi Ida's runs and those those group races at Hastings and at Tirapa. Tough runs, really good efforts, and third up. You'd have to say this is probably 2, 3 or 4 lengths weaker field. Drawn 7, and just had a good look at the map, and I reckon she'll land about 6th or 7th outer if Chad Ormsby on. And I thought, even though she's favoured, I think she does look a pretty good bet there. I can't see most of those horses won't get near her.
They won't get near her.
No, well, you got Cinerama's a chance. You've got Yearn's a chance, but Kiwi Ida just on that form. More, look at the more she should clean these up. 104 rating. Cinerama 85, all weight for age, set weights sort of thing. So I think she's a pretty good bet there. You disagree?
No, I don't disagree. I don't think she's over the line. I tell you what I will predict will be happening this week.
Yep.
Mr. Chadwick Ormsby will be picking up his telephone and ringing Mr. Christopher William Johnson to just have a chat about how best to ride this mare, because he certainly knows the key to her. And I think the key is just leave her for one last run. And we see at Hara, they can often fan right across the track.
Yeah.
So I think, but like last year, the winner, Secret Allure, kind of burst through the middle of them and sprinted that last 100 to run away and win. Yeah. So if Chad can replicate that sort of ride on Kiwi Ida, have to be hard to beat. Yearn, I know the confidence in the camp is pretty high. She's a quality mare as well. And Cinerama, obviously, blinkers going on, second up, normally a sign from the Sharrock stable that they're expecting a big run, and I think she'll be right in it. I really think, I think the Quinella, box those 3 in a Quinella, and you'll go very close. I'm not going to put my head on the block and just label one, unlike you, Neil, so we'll see what happens.
At least I won't get splinters on my backside sitting on the fence anyway. Right. Now, actually, a question from a viewer, Alan A. He asked about gear changes. He backed a horse called Almodena at Avondale during the week.
Baker Forsman horse.
Yep. I had a look at its debut run, got back on the inner, and ran on late, but he wouldn't back it on that. But the blinkers went on at Avondale. So he thought from the Baker Forsman stable, I presume he thought that, and he backed it, and $26 home it rolled. It could win. Gear changes. So can we just talk about gear changes for a sec? So I thought, well, we mentioned Cinerama. You get a top trainer like Alan Sharrock playing a trump card, like the blinkers going on Cinerama in a big race. The last time he put the blinkers on her, she ran a very close second at Ellerslie. So, these top smart trainers put them on at the right time. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it was pretty well telegraphed that this was her main aim in the early part of her campaign. I think, right, to be fair, that 1,200 metre race at New Plymouth 2 weeks ago was just a bit of a pipe opener for this. She's got the quality. She's won a listed race. I think it was at a Group 3 at Turanikau on Waitangi Day.
Yeah, that mile.
Drawn 2, Parks on board. Yeah, she has to be in it, but you're right. I mean, you look at based purely on the ratings and it being weight for age as such, Kiwi Ida does have the advantage, but stranger things have happened, Neil, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cinerama was going to push Kiwi Ida pretty close. So, looking forward to it.
Those blinkers too, there's a little thing that I do quite often. If the blinkers go on a horse, like a maiden or a horse that hasn't raced much, it's a little bit green. Look at the head on and you'll see if the horse is looking around. They're much better indication that way. And I've often backed horses that I've seen doing that where the blinkers go on and they improve out of sight, especially from those top trainers.
So when you say look at the head on, and so you're looking at the horse's head or the horse's eyes?
The head on, from the replays.
Yeah. You're watching the head on replay.
Yeah.
But are you looking? Surely you can't see the horse's eyes. So are you basing it if the horse's head is moving around up the straight, that's suggesting it's looking around?
They'll normally look out towards the crowd or look out for its strap or something. I don't know, or for the chips on the side of the straight. But you can clearly see it much better head on than you can moving the
Front on.
head.
Yeah.
Side on.
Okay. Well, I've learned something there to look out for on head-on replays.
Lots about the gear changes we can discuss another time too, like nose bands and things and those kind of things. But what I do like is the blinkers going on third up from a good trainer. Like Waller is always good at doing that.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, we've talked about a lot of positives from last week, but we have to reflect on what you and I would consider a negative, and I imagine some of the subscribers, a 78th minute, 90-metre intercept try by the Cronulla Sharks.
Oh, yeah. Shivers, yeah. I actually didn't watch the second half. I my-skied it. I felt sick watching it. You must have felt sick going to bed after watching that.
Yeah, the cat got kicked and the door got slammed. Just one of those bad beats that you have to cop from time to time.
You think you're in.
They were all over them, but that's the way it goes. So we have to turn the page. So we've turned it. Obviously, there's a big sporting event in Wellington on Sunday. As we record this, the All Blacks haven't named their team yet, so a bit hard to tip with any confidence. But if you were wanting a bet in that game, the Bledisloe Cup game, I think Australia will cover the 17.5-point start. I think that's too much. So, yeah, I do actually. Don't ask me why. It's more based on a gut feel than any sort of logic or analysis, but I just think 17.5 points. I think Dave Rennie's a good coach. I don't know about Ian Foster yet. Not convinced. I think Aussie will put up a good fight first up. So I'm not picking them to win, obviously, but I think they'll stay within 17.5. So that's about $1.80, I think, on the TAB. But the main sports bet of the weekend, and it's the NRL Finals Week 2.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the Saturday night game as a matchup between the Parramatta Eels, who have got zero momentum, struggled into the last few rounds of the regular season, got smacked up by the Storm in week 1 of the finals, up against the Rabbitohs, who have got all the momentum in the world, thrashing the Roosters, thrashing the Knights, playing with a lot of confidence. I can't see the Eels staying within QE of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So the bet there is South Sydney Rabbitohs minus, let me check the latest line to get it exactly right.
The way you're talking, it should be 20 or 30.
-6 at $1.90.
-$6.90.
So that's the GOAT sports bet of the weekend. South Sydney Rabbitohs -6 at $1.90. That game is Saturday night, 9:50 p.m. Hopefully we go to bed on Saturday night feeling a bit better about ourselves than we did last week.
So what if they win 2014?
You'll get paid out half. So it's like a dead heat in racing.
95 cents.
Yeah, you'll lose.
Why don't make it 6.5 points? Is there a reason why they don't do that? Or?
I think, well, this has all just come in the new system. I mean, they see the line as 6. So if it was 6.5, it wouldn't be $1.90 a piece. It would be one team would be the -6.5 would be paying probably $2.05, and the other team probably $1.75.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just the way the line falls. So hey, you got Adam Reynolds on the South Sydney team, so if they're up by 6, he's probably likely to try a little drop goal anyway to get us home by 7. So you don't need to worry, Neil.
No, not worried. We'll stick on the multi. And last week's question was a good one. It was,
yeah, well, funny, it came to fruition, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Melody Bell attempting to win a Group 1 race for 3 years in succession.
Yeah.
Who was the last horse to achieve that feat in New Zealand? And the answer was Mr. Tiz. Now, I guess the train spotters could say, oh, he only dead heated in one of them, so it doesn't count. But he did win the railway 3 years in a row. 6 people, I believe, Neil, got that right.
Yep. Give us a number.
4.
Alan A. For that. Tick that. Well done, Alan. No, he'll be happy. He's a long time subscriber, so we'll put on a multi. We'll throw in the Rabbitohs, and I'll sort something out for the Gallops on that game is on Saturday night, isn't it?
Yep.
So we'll sort something out for that.
Have we got any money in the tin for another prize next week to give away?
We have actually.
Oh, that's
Just
positive.
bad week last week, so now we can afford to do one of those.
Okay, so we talked about the rugby, and it's unusual. It's a Sunday game, but it's also, I guess, 4 o'clock is still classed as an afternoon kickoff. We want to know, when was the last Bledisloe Cup game held in New Zealand played with an afternoon kickoff? So what year is all you need to come up with. The year the last Bledisloe Cup game was played with an afternoon kickoff. Text or email your answers through to Neil by Tuesday, and you could be like Alan, winning the multi next week.
Yep, 027 352 6402 or formpro at formpro.co.nz. Make it by Tuesday night. Right, big bats and bouquets. We've had what's going on rating the last week or so, but I thought I'll pick out a couple of positive things. You go first, though. You got anything you want to?
No. Start with the positives.
Okay. David Bradley. I was doing the sectionals yesterday at Woodville. I had a couple of bets, and he had two really good winners on horses out in front, Miss Shernan and Lorna Doone. And I did the sectionals, and he couldn't rate the horse better. He did it backed off at the right time mid-race, went at the right time, and so it's good to see he's got that touch. It's a good jockey to win on a front-running horse like that. So well done, David Bradley, and also to David Archibald, who does the greyhound selections. He's right into the sectionals now for Addington at Christchurch, and he's coming up trumps week after week with some good selections in the greyhounds. So well done, David. Good to see that. Right, you got anything you want to?
Well,
Okay,
you tweeted about something yesterday at Woodville after Lorna Doone won. One of your pet topics, the Levin jump outs. No video coverage of the Levin jump outs, and you're not happy.
No, well, Lorna Doone ran second on the jump outs. I might put up a link to it actually. I download the Excel sheet and then reorder them in alphabetical order so you can quickly see which racing. So no, it was the second or third leg of the quaddy, and if people have been able to see that jump out, they could have decided, yes, this is worth putting in the quaddy or not. Just to see it ran second, you think, oh, well. I don't know.
What would have you like that sheet of the jump outs? Actually, yep. I might quickly bring it up so I do get emailed it as well. Where are we? See if I find the latest one. Does it mention the riders? I don't think it does.
It does, just for the first, second, and third horses.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yeah, it does too. Because you don't know the weights that the horses are carrying. Yeah, it does mention the riders on the first, second, third. I don't know. Would you not have a bet in the All Blacks and Australia game on Sunday because you didn't get to see their last training run?
No, it wouldn't affect me. But I know what you're saying, but it's information. And my philosophy is for punters, if information's available, give it to them. Use the Hong Kong philosophy. If a horse sneezes, they put it up. It's just every bit of information you can have goes up there. And people can decide if they want to use it or not. But it gives punters an excuse to have a bet. And like Lorna Doone, if you knew it was placing that jump out for not a bad horse, you think, okay, that's in.
Yeah.
And you can see it, but it's got a sprinting action or a dry track action or a sprinter.
The Hong Kong scenario, yes, I understand why you bring that up. But Hong Kong, every track work gallopers is recorded because they've all done on the one track. Now, do you not have a bet in New Zealand because you don't get to see Cinerama's track work at New Plymouth on Tuesday morning? No, you still have a bet but you don't know, you rely on the times. And I can tell you now, across all tracks, don't rely on track work times being accurate. So I don't know. I just think we're not Hong Kong. Yes, we could aspire to be like that, but it's not as easy when you've got, I don't know, 30, 40 different training tracks and trying to record gallops or, all that. It just isn't going to happen.
But here's a question. When the Cambridge or weather track comes in, there are going to be a lot of horses training and trialing there, aren't there? Jump outs. It's going to be used a lot because that's what it's designed for. Wouldn't it be good to have a live webcam there that records track work, trials, jump outs, that just film it and upload it so people can look back, owners can look back, punters can look back, trainers can even look back.
Yep.
Just the information.
Problem is, though, I'd argue probably half of them you won't be able to see anything because they'll be in the dark.
Oh, we'll just get jockeys to carry torches as they go on something, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought you can follow them in the car or something on a bike?
Yeah. I guess the flip side is that there's always an edge to punting, and if you can get a little edge, and if you're prepared to get out of bed, go and watch a set of jump outs or go to the track. And remember, you can only go to one track generally at any one time, so you might see a horse work well. Take, for example, and I'm not saying it did, but just as an example, Cinerama might have worked the house down at New Plymouth on Tuesday. You might think, oh, there we go, I'm going to back Cinerama in the race on Saturday. But little do you know that Yearn might have done exactly the same at Matamata on the same day.
Exactly.
So it's pretty, it's very subjective, I guess.
It is, yeah. No, I'm basically a times person, so you're right. But at least I'm just saying for other punters' sakes, give them the information. All it takes is you could take it on an iPhone, do a video.
Yeah, well, I know trainers. A lot of trainers video the jump outs to send to their owners.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, we won't dwell too much more on that subject because I can tell you that not every horse is what it says it is in the jump outs either.
No, I would never.
We won't touch on that subject, but so the accuracy of the information, I guess, is and I guess then that does come at extra cost, and is that cost going to generate more turnover? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But we probably won't ever agree on this one, I reckon, Neil. But it's always good to have a discussion about it.
Anything else before we go on to Stump the Goat? I've got some good questions here too.
Oh no, I'm not looking forward to this one today. I got a bad feeling with that smile on your face. I'm gonna need that spatula again. I'm picking.
You might do. Dave Cole sent in some of these questions, so it's about Jimmy Shoe, and I've chucked in one or two about Jimmy as well. So the first one is, could you advise the breeding of this fantastic horse, Jimmy Shoe? Give me the sire at least.
The mare's Shumani. No. Thorn Park. Oh, no. Thorn Park Cesaro.
Very good.
Yeah, Shumani was a half sister or brother. Yes, Cesaro. Thorn Park Cesaro. Yep.
Yeah. And he also mentioned he read about this. There was a breeding program, a software program that cost $1,500 that helped the breeder work out the breeding for this one.
Mr. Wood, I think his name was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Here's one. The horse Jimmy Shoe was mostly ridden by,
JKB Riddell.
Yeah. For out of the 26 starts, there were only 2 other riders that rode him. You know who they were? One's now riding in Australia in Melbourne.
Michael Walker.
Yes, yeah. The other one is not so well known. Rode him in his first win, actually. National Speed.
First win was at Otaki, was it? Or Trenton?
Sure,
okay.
I know the second one was.
So I'd say it'd be a CD jockey. Female or male?
Male. PT.
Paul Taylor.
Very good.
Yeah. Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
Without a bit of help.
Oh yeah, this is one I've given you. John Barry said in one of his races before the start, his
Just
words
keep
were,
putting on till it hurts.
very good. You remember that? And what was the race it was
I think,
before? 3-year-old race?
yeah, it was either the mile at Ellerslie on Boxing Day or the lead up to the Derby.
It was a Great Northern Guineas.
Yeah, so
Mile
that was the
race.
mile. That was the
Yeah,
mile at Ellerslie on Boxing
before the
Day.
Derby. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was too. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
yeah. That was he fibrillated in the Levin Classic.
Yeah.
And he gave him a freshen up, and he
Yeah.
was back. I think he paid about $3 that day. I remember that well.
280 on the tote.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. Yeah. No, I got
Just-
stuck into it when he said that.
Just keep putting it on till it hurts. One of the great lines.
That was, yeah. Wouldn't want to say it too often though, would you?
No.
Yeah. Oh, that's right here. He won his second race at Otaki over 1,000 metres.
Yeah.
Who was the sponsor of the race? And you do know the company?
Well, I'll guess El Cheapo Cars.
No?
No.
One more guess.
I do know the company, a sponsor at Otaki.
Dave's got a bet with me that you won't get this one.
Form Pro?
Very good. Hey, sorry, Dave, you owe me $5.
It is Form Pro.
It is, yeah.
You sponsored that day, did you?
Yep.
That,
Yeah.
Okay. Was that a Levin meeting at Otaki?
I can't remember.
I think it might have been in November. I reckon
think-
Cellarmaster always used to run
Yes,
second to Jimmy
he
Shea.
was second to him, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Second guess, I got it right.
Very good. Okay. Mathematic Cup in 2000 was this race tomorrow. Mathematic Cup in 2009 was won by which horse that's owned by a regular viewer of this Heads Up show?
We're talking Pedro and El Blitzum.
Very good.
I tell you what, I'll give you a tip in the Mathematic Cup. I
Yeah.
reckon Tabby Max is special.
I think you're right too. Why is that?
His track work on Tuesday was outstanding.
So if we knew that, punters knew that, they would get stuck into it. And
Yeah.
What were the times?
track work on Tuesday was outstanding.
Right,
And
yeah.
you've got to say that the form from the Tarzino is stacked up.
It goes on a firm track. What's going to be there to be ideal for?
Yeah, and OP Bossum on board probably will assist a bit too. So, yeah, I won't say keep putting it on till it hurts, but just keep putting it on till you're feeling a slight bit of pain.
Yeah. Like a little pinprick or something.
Yeah, good old Pedro. He loved El Blitzum.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
he's a good horse. And who rode him?
Oh, I'm guessing DM Walsh.
He's the one. Yeah. Dead right.
Yeah.
Little while, eh? I mentioned this question before. Who won last year's Breeders' Stakes and who rode the horse? We'll mention the jockey.
Yeah, well, I remember the race well. Being there, Secret Allure burst through the pack and won the race and was ridden by Rosie Myers, who unfortunately had a little incident on Tuesday morning at the Foxton Trials. Horse, as they were pulling up, so we weren't even going fast. The horse shied. She fell off. The horse Sam O'Malley was riding stood on her head. Not nice. So she's been in an induced coma, but is showing signs of slight recovery, of recovery. But being in an induced coma is not a bad thing. So we're very hopeful that Rosie does pull through because she is a lovely lady, very well respected and liked amongst her peers and her friends and her family and husband Will. So we do wish them all the very best, and she's in good hands down there at Wellington. But yeah, no, good lady is Rosemary.
No, they're tough, those riders. So if anyone can pull through, a rider can. And
Yeah, I think that fitness that they have must help on these things.
definitely. Yeah.
A couple of fractures. She might be wanting a bit of, probably want some plastic surgery after she comes out. Got a fractured cheekbone, I think, and whatnot. But they'll put that all back together, and I'm sure she'll come out the other end and be all A-OK.
Yeah. Okay. So we want the Rabbitohs to win by 7 points.
Yep, that'd be
Got
nice.
in the last few seconds, they win by 7 points, and the All Blacks to play averagely fresh up.
That'll be all right. Yep, we think I tell you what, mate, the Parramatta Eels are like the mitigator last week.
Yeah,
Their season, they started brilliantly. They were top of the ladder for a bit.
me too.
The mitigator, he was out by 5 lengths at the 800. At the 400, he was reaching for the oxygen mask. So I think the Parramatta Eels remind me of the mitigator.
Yeah, okay. Let's hope they do that again on the weekend. Everybody have a great weekend, and Dave will enjoy that $5 bet you're going to shout me on the weekend. And everyone, oh, there's a horse in the last race at Hara on Saturday that I've heard's been training pretty, and the blinkers are going on fresh as well. I better mention that before.
You're talking about the Ripper.
Oh, the Ripper? No, it was something
Oh,
with
another
G.
horse. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do have a little ownership interest in a horse called Gerda in the last race at Egmont on Saturday. We were expecting a price. The bookies saw us coming,
Yeah.
opened a $4 favourite. So she'll run very well, but you'd say $4 is a little short at this point in time.
And where can we view that jump out when she won it? That's on YouTube somewhere.
I did try and video it. Oh, no, I do have a
Oh, yeah.
video of it. I do have a video of it. If you want to see the jump out win at Hara from 2 months ago, feel free. I can forward it through to you.
Forward it through, and I'll stick it up on
I
YouTube.
don't think she was
Big
wearing
highlight.
blinkers that day, though, Neil. So how do you assess that?
Well, she must improve off that, you think. So, crikey, Dick, you've got to be on big time.
Oh, well.
$4 is great money. Let's halve that prize, punters. Halve
I hope everyone's already turned off. They thought that was the end of the show and they've clicked stop.
it.
No, it could be a good old day at Hara if Gerda
Yeah.
salutes in the last.
Great, mate. Going nicely, too. No, good luck with that. I'll be cheering her on too. So, have a great weekend, everybody.